Welcome, gentle listener, to another soothing journey through the past with your sleepy historian. Tonight, we will quietly wander along the dusty fields and serene banks of the Nile, exploring the hidden world of ancient Egyptian farmers. This is a space of calm, where history is gentle, unhurried, and quietly fascinating. Here, we take the kind of stories that often go unnoticed, the simple rhythms of lives long gone, and unfold them in soft, comforting tones. If this style of storytelling helps you drift into a peaceful slumber, feel free to like the video and subscribe, but only if it brings you genuine calm. And do let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is in your world. There's a subtle joy in knowing others are gently falling asleep to the same ancient tales. Tonight's story is perfect for those who enjoy boring history for sleep, for falling asleep to boring history, or for anyone who appreciates soft-spoken history documentaries and calm bedtime storytelling. If you've ever wanted to experience relaxing history to fall asleep to, or been a fan of Roman history, archaeology, and calm narration, this journey is for you. Here, you will not find battles described in alarming detail or dramatic suspense meant to jolt you awake. Instead, we gently observe the ebb and flow of agricultural life, the cycles of planting and harvesting, and the quiet routines that sustained an empire. Imagine yourself standing in a field near the riverbank, the soil soft beneath your feet, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and sun-warmed reeds. The rhythmic movements of workers, guided by seasons rather than clocks, are almost meditative. You can hear the distant murmur of the river, the occasional bleating of goats, and the soft rustle of linen robes in the breeze. Life, in its simplicity and persistence, unfolds around you. Throughout this journey, we will explore the intimate details of daily labor, follow the lives of a few individuals as they navigate their roles and responsibilities, delve into the mysteries of ancient agricultural practices and culture, and contrast these experiences with those of the elite who lived in more shaded, stone-built courts. Each moment is designed to gently pull you into the rhythm of the past, letting the subtle cadence of history lull your mind. So, dim the lights, allow the river of time to carry you, and let the voices of the past whisper softly into your ears. Let us begin our quiet exploration of the hidden world of ancient Egyptian farmers. As the first golden rays of the morning stretch across the Nile, you can imagine yourself standing quietly on the soft, damp earth of a small farming village. The air is filled with a subtle, earthy aroma, mingling the fragrance of wet soil with the faint sweetness of ripening grains. In the distance, the river flows slowly, almost lazily, reflecting the pale blush of dawn. Farmers begin to stir, their movements gentle and deliberate, as if they are guided not only by the rising sun, but by the eternal rhythm of the land itself. The village is simple, composed of low mud-brick houses with flat roofs, each dwelling surrounded by modest plots of crops and small pens for goats and chickens. The walls are a warm ochre, sun-baked and smooth to the touch, with small, shaded windows that frame the morning light. Imagine the quiet murmur of the villagers greeting one another softly, their voices blending with the subtle rustle of reeds along the riverbank. Children, barefoot and curious, wander near the edges of the fields, their laughter muted and gentle, echoing faintly across the fields like a delicate wind chime. You may notice the farmers' clothing, modest and practical, made from simple linen dyed in soft, muted tones. Their garments hang loosely, allowing freedom of movement while they bend and work. Each hand carries the marks of daily labor, calloused fingertips, smooth palms, and the subtle stains of soil that speak quietly of long hours spent in harmony with the earth. Tools are simple and unadorned. Wooden hoes, short sickles, baskets woven from reeds. Each instrument is designed with careful thought for the land it serves, and you can almost feel the rhythm of their work, steady and unhurried. The fields themselves are a patchwork of fertile soil, divided into neat rows of barley, wheat, and emmer. The land seems to breathe, rising gently with small furrows and depressions, dotted with green shoots reaching upward. A slight breeze carries the distant scent of the river and the faint tang of mud, softening the harshness of the sun that gradually warms the air. Farmers move in synchronized, almost meditative motions, planting seeds, tending to young shoots, or drawing water from the Nile using long, curved wooden shafts. Imagine your eyes tracing the movements, following the rhythm, and feeling the gentle repetition that structures every day in this timeless cycle. The morning is punctuated by small moments that reveal the texture of daily life. A woman pauses to gather a bundle of stalks, tying them together with coarse rope. A man leans against a wooden post, resting briefly, feeling the sun on his back while listening to the murmur of the river. Children chase one another in playful loops, their small hands occasionally brushing against the soft, damp soil, leaving tiny imprints that will soon be washed away by the morning irrigation. Life here is a constant, measured rhythm: planting, watering, tending, resting, and observing. Each action, though simple, carries the weight of survival and continuity, the delicate thread that binds generations. In the distance, the river's surface shimmers, reflecting the soft colors of the sky. Water birds glide effortlessly above, their wings barely disturbing the calm air. Occasionally, a farmer lifts his head, scanning the horizon, aware of the changing light and subtle shifts in the wind that may hint at the arrival of a new season. It is a life dictated by cycles, both gentle and predictable, a life where the smallest detail, a careful bend of a seedling, the precise tilt of a basket, can hold profound importance. As the day continues, you can almost hear the faint, comforting hum of work mingled with natural sounds. The rustle of tall grasses, the quiet lapping of water against the riverbank, and the distant caw of a solitary bird. The villagers' movements, synchronized yet individual, create a subtle pattern, like a lullaby woven from the threads of daily labor. This is not a life of grand gestures or heroic deeds, but a life rich in quiet purpose, resilience, and gentle continuity. Imagine the soft, tactile sensation of soil between your fingers, the warmth of the sun on your shoulders, the faint smell of river mud and growing crops. It is grounding, rhythmic, and soothing. In this first glimpse of daily life, you begin to understand the gentle constancy of ancient Egyptian farming. The simplicity is not emptiness, but a profound connection to nature and time itself. Each day is a measured cadence, a harmony between human endeavor and the fertile land. You can close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself walking slowly through these fields, feeling the sun's gentle heat, hearing the quiet, persistent sound of water, and observing the rhythmic gestures of those who cultivate the soil with patient care. In this space, the past is soft, unhurried, and serene, drawing your mind into a calm, reflective state, inviting you to drift along with the slow pulse of history. As the sun rises higher, casting a warm, golden light over the fields, the quiet rhythm of daily life continues with a soft, unhurried persistence. You may imagine yourself walking slowly along a narrow dirt path, flanked by tall stalks of wheat swaying gently in the breeze. Each stalk catches the light in a delicate shimmer, the golden hues blending softly with the green undertones of newly sprouted barley. The air carries a subtle mixture of scents, the faint sweetness of ripening grain, the earthy dampness of recently watered soil, and the faint, lingering aroma of clay from the village's mudbrick homes. Farmers move deliberately through the fields, their gestures calm and methodical. A man bends low, carefully loosening the soil around young shoots, his fingers grazing the moist earth with a quiet reverence, as if acknowledging the fragile life taking root. Nearby, a woman gathers a bundle of cut reeds, their slender stalks bending softly under her gentle grip, the sound of their rustling like a quiet, woven whisper. Each action, though small, carries weight, sustaining the cycles that have governed this land for generations. Imagine the tactile sensation of the soil beneath your feet, the subtle warmth of the sun on your arms, the quiet friction of woven sandals against the uneven path. It is grounding, meditative, and remarkably gentle. Children are now wandering a little further into the fields, their bare feet imprinting tiny marks in the soft, fertile soil. Some follow the adults, imitating their motions in playful mimicry. Others chase one another in slow, meandering loops. Their laughter is soft, almost ethereal, blending seamlessly with the gentle rustle of leaves and the occasional splash of water from a nearby irrigation channel. Observe the careful way they move, the small pauses to lift a leaf, to feel the coolness of the water, to marvel at the glinting reflection of the sun on the river. Their curiosity is patient, unhurried, a quiet mirror of the rhythm that defines every day in this village. As the morning deepens, the Nile itself becomes a constant, soothing presence. Its surface glints like a band of liquid silver under the sun, and the sound of gentle lapping against the riverbank is steady and calming. Farmers often pause here to fill their clay jars or wash their hands, feeling the coolness of the water seep into their fingers. Imagine yourself bending beside them, feeling the gentle pull of the river's flow, listening to its muted murmur, allowing its rhythm to sync with the quiet cadence of your own breath. This connection between human endeavor and natural cycles is central to life here, a soft tether linking effort to sustenance, labor to nourishment. Around the edges of the fields, small tasks continue in an understated but essential harmony. A farmer repairs a simple wooden fence with slow, careful movements, fitting each beam into place with attention and patience. Another adjusts the placement of irrigation channels, directing the water so that it flows evenly, nourishing every row of crops. Even the animals, goats, chickens, and ducks, move within these routines with calm familiarity, their quiet presence adding texture and life to the village. You may notice the soft clucking of hens as they peck at the ground, or the low hum of contented goats, blending seamlessly into the ambient tapestry of sounds. Mid-morning brings subtle variations in light and temperature. Shadows stretch across the fields, the sun now warming the backs of the laborers, but never harshly. Imagine how it might feel to stand in this balance of warmth and shade, the gentle sun brushing your skin, the slight breeze brushing against your face, the distant shimmer of the river drawing your gaze with a quiet, unending promise of continuity. Each day in this land follows its own slow cadence, a combination of human action, natural cycles, and the soft passage of time. Even small interruptions, a child pausing to examine a newly sprouted plant, a farmer resting briefly against a mudbrick wall, become part of the measured rhythm, a gentle punctuation in the ongoing story of life. The colors of the fields shift gradually with the progression of morning. Golden grains catch the light in a subtle dance, contrasting softly with the deeper green of leafy vegetables or the rich brown of freshly turned earth. Imagine tracing these variations with your eyes, noticing the interplay of light, texture, and movement, allowing your mind to drift along the gentle patterns of repetition and care. Each fold of cloth, each careful hand movement, each subtle sound blends into a quiet symphony, unhurried and comforting. By late morning, the day's work is steady, almost meditative. Farmers pause intermittently to drink from clay jars, wiping their hands on the hems of their linen tunics. The cycle of labor, of tending and observing, of waiting for the soil and river to offer their gifts, is an unspoken lesson in patience and presence. Imagine the tactile sensation of these actions, the warmth of water on your skin, the coarse texture of soil beneath your fingernails, the soft rustle of linen against your arms. Each detail invites your awareness, but in a calm, unpressured way, letting your mind settle into the quiet harmony of the past. By immersing yourself in this slow, deliberate rhythm, the hidden world of ancient Egyptian farmers reveals its quiet beauty. Life here is shaped not by grandeur or spectacle, but by small, meaningful gestures, subtle observation, and the unbroken connection to the land and river. The gentle cadence of planting, watering, and tending allows a mind open to it to relax, to drift and to imagine itself as part of a vast, timeless tapestry. The present softens as it mingles with echoes of the past, and the day unfolds in unhurried, soothing continuity. As the morning slowly gives way to the warmth of early afternoon, the village takes on a softer, almost languid rhythm. Imagine yourself walking among the neatly divided fields, the sunlight now warmer, filtering through the scattered clouds in gentle, amber hues. The fertile earth, once moist with morning irrigation, is now dappled with the sun's touch, radiating a subtle warmth beneath your feet. Farmers continue their tasks, yet there is a quiet pause in their movements, a natural rest, a gentle acknowledgement of the steady passage of time. Along the edges of the fields, small details offer a deeper glimpse into daily life. A woman carefully sorts freshly harvested vegetables, laying each in a basket with a soft, measured precision. You might notice her fingers brushing against the smooth, cool surfaces of gourds, the earthy texture of beans, the faint fragrance of herbs still clinging to their stems. Nearby, a man leans against a low mud brick wall, momentarily closing his eyes and feeling the sun on his face, allowing the slow cadence of labor to merge with the rhythm of the wind and the distant murmur of the Nile. Imagine standing quietly beside them, feeling the warmth and the gentle hum of life around you, and sensing the soothing continuity that shapes each day. The children, now more confident in their exploration of the fields, wander in soft, meandering paths. Their curiosity is patient and unhurried, an echo of the adults' own steady pace. Some kneel to examine a freshly sprouted plant, brushing away soil with tiny, careful fingers. Others pause to watch the slow descent of a bird from the sky, or the ripple of water moving along an irrigation channel. Their soft, quiet observations create a gentle parallel to the measured work of the adults, reinforcing the subtle cadence of village life. Imagine the faint whisper of their footsteps and laughter blending into the ambient sounds of the river, the wind, and the rustle of crops, creating a soothing auditory tapestry. The Nile itself remains a central, calming presence. Its waters shimmer in a muted silver blue under the shifting sunlight, reflecting the soft silhouettes of birds gliding gracefully above. Occasionally, a farmer draws water from the river with a wooden shaduf, the bucket descending slowly, tilting to collect the cool liquid, then rising in a steady, deliberate motion. Imagine observing this process, feeling a quiet sense of connection to the land and the essential task of nurturing life, understanding that each small, careful gesture sustains a rhythm that has endured for generations. Throughout the fields, there is a subtle interplay of sound and movement. The swish of linen against the skin, the gentle scraping of wooden tools against soil, the faint murmur of voices, none harsh, none hurried, combine to create a natural, meditative background. Even the animals move with restrained energy, goats nibbling at tender shoots, chickens pecking at scattered grains, ducks gliding across small water channels. Each motion is unhurried, contributing to a harmonious environment that gently encourages your mind to slow, to breathe, and to settle. The midday sun casts long, soft shadows across the village, creating a pattern of light and shade that shifts almost imperceptibly. You might notice the texture of the mud brick walls, their warm ochre tones slightly darkened where moisture lingers. The flat rooftops provide quiet vantage points, occasionally occupied by villagers pausing for rest or simple observation. From here, one can see the full extent of the fields, the river winding gently through the landscape, and the subtle rhythm of life playing out in endless, gentle repetitions. Imagine tracing this view slowly with your eyes, letting the soft, repetitive patterns ease your thoughts and lull your mind toward calm reflection. In the open fields, work continues, but with less urgency. Farmers pause to wipe their brows, rearrange baskets, or shift irrigation channels. There is a natural grace in their measured movements, a harmony that requires neither hurry nor spectacle. You can almost feel the gentle texture of their work. The soil under fingernails, the smooth weight of a clay jar, the soft brush of stalks against skin. Each detail is comforting, grounding, and consistent, helping to quiet any restless thoughts and encouraging the mind to drift in synchrony with the steady pulse of the village. By mid-afternoon, the village seems suspended in a timeless, tranquil state. The river glows faintly under the sunlight, crops sway lazily, and labor continues in slow, deliberate cycles. Here, the hidden world of ancient Egyptian farmers is revealed in its entirety, a life defined not by spectacle, but by patience, persistence, and subtle beauty. Each task, each gesture, each quiet observation connects to a broader tapestry of daily life, offering insight into a world where time moves gently and the present is filled with soft, repetitive rhythms that soothe rather than excite. As you leave this imagined walk through the fields and prepare to move deeper into the stories of individual lives and events, allow yourself to carry the gentle pulse of the village with you. Let the steady cadence of planting, tending, and resting linger in your mind, a comforting companion as we transition to the more intimate exploration of individual experiences and historical events in the next segment. Imagine the sun slowly tilting westward, shadows stretching, the soft breeze brushing your face, and the calming murmur of the Nile threading through your thoughts, a perfect companion for continued reflection and gentle drift into history. As the afternoon light drapes softly across the Nile, let us turn our attention from the gentle rhythm of village life to the quiet story of one particular figure, whose daily presence shaped and reflected the subtle workings of these ancient fields. Imagine yourself walking alongside him, a man named Khufu, an overseer of the farmers whose role, though not commanding armies or building grand monuments, was essential to the cycles of sustenance that supported the larger society. His life offers a window into the personal experiences that underpinned the vast tapestry of ancient Egyptian civilization. Khufu rises before the sun is fully awake, the early light casting a gentle glow over his simple mudbrick dwelling. His linen tunic, modest but neatly folded, reflects the muted earth tones of the surrounding fields. He pauses for a moment at the doorway, feeling the soft texture of sun-warmed clay beneath his feet, listening to the faint murmur of the river in the distance, and inhaling the comforting scent of damp soil mingled with faint herbs drying on a small rack nearby. These quiet, sensory details set the rhythm of his day, a rhythm he carries with calm purpose. His responsibilities are measured but vital. He inspects the fields, walking slowly along the well-tended rows of wheat and barley, noticing the slight tilt of stalks, the evenness of furrows, the gentle gleam of dew still clinging to young shoots. Farmers follow at a distance, moving with unhurried care, trusting his guidance, yet performing their work with a quiet autonomy. Imagine observing Khufu movements, the deliberate placement of hands on a basket, the soft rustle of linen as he bends to examine the soil, the calm, reflective way his eyes scan the fields. Every gesture is purposeful, yet unhurried, a meditation in motion. Beyond the fields, Khufu's life is threaded with small, meaningful routines. Mid-morning, he pauses to drink water drawn from the river, the cool liquid offering a brief, refreshing respite. He may sit for a moment on a low mud brick wall, feeling the sun's warmth and listening to the faint calls of distant waterfowl. These pauses, though brief, are integral to the rhythm of his day, offering him space to observe, to reflect, and to align his thoughts with the measured cadence of the village. Imagine the tactile sensations, the smooth clay of the water jar, the gentle brush of the wind, the subtle warmth of sun-baked earth beneath him, blending into a quiet, meditative experience. In the course of a day, Khufu must also navigate subtle challenges that the land and seasons present. A section of the field may require careful attention. Furrows uneven, water pooling in one area, young crops bending under a sudden gust of wind. His solutions are always calm, deliberate and precise. Perhaps he directs the careful adjustment of an irrigation channel or coordinates the repositioning of a bundle of stalks. Each small intervention, though seemingly mundane, carries lasting importance, preserving the steady pulse of growth that sustains the entire village. Imagine the quiet satisfaction in his measured actions, a sense of accomplishment without need for ceremony or recognition. His interactions with others are gentle and deliberate. A young apprentice, eager to learn the nuances of irrigation, follows at a careful distance, observing every gesture. Kufanefer offers instruction in soft, unobtrusive tones, demonstrating by example rather than command, letting the apprentice absorb the rhythm of work naturally. Villagers nod in acknowledgement, exchanging brief, calm words, the soft rustle of movements and muted voices forming a subtle symphony of daily life. There is no urgency here, only steady participation in a larger, quietly orchestrated cycle. Even the occasional disruption, the unexpected animal wandering into a crop, a brief shift in weather, becomes part of the gentle ebb and flow of Kufanefer's day. He addresses each incident with calm attention, weaving small adjustments into the ongoing pattern without haste or alarm. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a field, watching him move among the rows, responding to each subtle variation with patience, understanding, and a quiet dignity. This intimate observation allows you to experience the layers of responsibility, care, and connection that define not only his life, but the broader network of human and environmental relationships in ancient Egypt. As afternoon turns gradually toward evening, Kufunefer completes the day's rounds, his movements slowing in harmony with the lengthening shadows. The river's surface catches the muted gold of the late sun, reflecting the soft silhouettes of distant birds. Farmers pause in their own work, tending to small tasks, adjusting baskets, or guiding animals gently. Imagine the gentle harmony of these motions, the tactile sensation of cool water on your hands, the soft rustle of linen sleeves against the warmth of your skin, the subtle fragrance of harvested grains mixing with the air. The quiet rhythm of life here encourages the mind to slow, to reflect, and to drift into the gentle pulse of history. In observing Kufanefer, we begin to understand the understated elegance of his role, not one of glory or spectacle, but of consistent presence, careful guidance, and unhurried attention to the cycles that sustain life. Each day unfolds predictably yet beautifully, a meditation in motion, offering a soothing lens through which to view the broader patterns of ancient Egyptian society. His story is a gentle reminder that history's richness often lies in the quiet diligence of ordinary lives, in the subtle threads that connect people to their land, their work, and one another. As the sun continues its slow journey across the sky, Kufunefer moves through the fields with an unhurried attentiveness, observing both the land and the people who sustain it. Imagine yourself walking beside him, feeling the gentle warmth of midday sunlight on your shoulders, hearing the soft rustle of stalks as they sway in a light breeze, and inhaling the earthy fragrance of soil warmed by the sun. Each detail is soothing, anchoring you in the gentle pulse of the village, allowing the mind to relax and drift along with the rhythm of work. Today, as on many days, his role demands a careful balance between observation and intervention. He notes a patch of barley that seems slightly stunted, its green tips bending under the mild weight of early growth. With calm precision, he kneels, pressing his fingers softly into the soil, feeling its texture and moisture, adjusting a small irrigation channel to ensure the water reaches each row evenly. The simplicity of this gesture belies its importance, a quiet act that safeguards the future nourishment of the community. Imagine the tactile sensation, the cool, damp soil yielding under gentle pressure, the soft, subtle scent of fresh water, the comforting rhythm of deliberate, mindful action. As he moves along, Kufunefer encounters the gentle challenges that are a part of everyday life in the fields. A goat has wandered into a patch of young vegetables, nibbling cautiously. He does not scold, but guides the animal gently away, using soft, unhurried motions. A child, observing the interaction, tilts their head curiously, learning the quiet art of care and attention without urgency. Every small incident becomes a lesson in patience, balance, and measured response, offering a glimpse into the understated wisdom that shapes his daily existence. In the midst of his rounds, Kufanefer occasionally pauses to reflect on the subtle cycles that govern the land. The river, flowing steadily in the distance, seems almost to whisper guidance, its gentle lapping echoing through the village and across the fields. He watches the water birds glide effortlessly above, noting how their movements mirror the natural ebb and flow that the farmers emulate in their work. There is no hurry here. Every moment is a gentle step in a larger, ongoing pattern of life. Imagine standing quietly with him, absorbing the softness of sunlight on your skin, the faint fragrance of grains and mud, the quiet hum of bees and birds, and allowing it to settle gently over your thoughts. Kufanefer's responsibilities also extend to the subtle coordination of communal tasks. Baskets of harvested grains are moved with deliberate care, stacked in neat piles shaded from the sun. Irrigation ditches are checked, adjusted, and reinforced, each step taken with mindful intention. Farmers move alongside him, performing their labor in synchrony, yet maintaining their individual pace, their soft footsteps blending with the quiet rhythm of water and wind. Imagine the visual harmony of this scene. Lines of crops, small mudbrick homes, the gentle shimmer of the river, and the soft movement of humans and animals alike, all contributing to a tranquil, unhurried tableau. During these quieter moments, Kufanefer also tends to his own small personal routines. He stops by a modest garden of herbs and vegetables, examining each plant with careful attention. His fingers brush softly against the leaves, testing for ripeness, noticing the subtle variations of color and texture. The air is filled with gentle fragrances, mint, coriander, and a lingering scent of sun-warmed soil. These small actions, though seemingly mundane, anchor him in the present, offering a meditative respite amid the ongoing responsibilities of oversight. Imagine the soothing tactile sensations, the coolness of leaves, the soft warmth of sunlight, the steady hum of life unfolding around you. Even challenges imposed by nature are met with calm determination. A sudden shift in the wind sends a few loose stalks swaying more than usual. Kufanefer adjusts their supports gently, without urgency, observing how each movement of his hands guides the fragile structures back into alignment. The villagers, inspired by his example, continue their own tasks with measured care, their actions synchronized with the slow, steady pulse of the environment. You can imagine the comforting repetition of these movements, a quiet rhythm that mirrors the gentle flow of the river and the unhurried cadence of daily life. As the afternoon gradually stretches toward early evening, the light softens and the shadows lengthen, bathing the fields in a calm, golden glow. Farmers complete their work for the day, stacking tools neatly, guiding animals to shaded areas, and washing hands in the cool, slow-moving water of the Nile. Kufanefer pauses to survey the landscape, noting the soft patterns of growth, the subtle interplay of light and shadow, and the quiet continuity of the labor that sustains the village. Imagine the serenity of this moment, the muted shimmer of the river, the distant cry of a bird, the gentle rustle of crops in the evening breeze, all contributing to a sense of calm and reflection. Through the careful observation of Kufanefer's day, we gain insight into the understated elegance of his life, a rhythm of quiet attention, gentle guidance, and mindful engagement with the world around him. Every gesture, no matter how small, reinforces the continuity of life, offering a soothing, measured vision of human existence within the broader cycles of nature. It is in these unhurried, meditative actions that we find the gentle heartbeat of history, a pulse that encourages the mind to slow, to reflect, and to drift softly into contemplation. As the afternoon drifts into evening, the village is bathed in a soft, amber glow, the sun tilting low above the horizon. Imagine standing quietly beside Kufanefer as he completes his day's responsibilities, the warm light casting gentle shadows across the fields and mud-brick homes. The long, low hum of the river fills the air, merging with the muted movements of farmers gathering tools, arranging harvested grains, and guiding animals to shaded pens. Everything moves slowly, predictably, and with quiet purpose, as if time itself pauses to breathe in harmony with the rhythms of daily life. Kufanefer's attention now shifts from immediate tasks to the reflection of the day's progress. He walks along the edge of the fields, pausing to observe the crops, noting subtle variations in growth, and considering adjustments for the coming days. Each motion is deliberate yet unhurried. A careful brush of a hand along a stalk, the soft repositioning of a basket, a quiet nod to a farmer nearby. Imagine feeling the gentle warmth of the sun, the faint scent of ripening grains mixed with the earthy fragrance of freshly turned soil, and hearing the soft murmur of villagers moving about their tasks in synchrony with nature's quiet cadence. Even the small interactions of the evening carry a calm rhythm. A young apprentice follows Kufanefer at a careful distance, eager yet patient, observing the steady flow of his gestures and learning the unhurried art of guidance. Villagers exchange quiet words as they move toward the river or tend to animals, their voices low, like murmurs carried gently by the evening breeze. A few children wander nearby, drawn to the glimmer of the river or the flickering light on distant rooftops. Their movements are slow, exploratory, a soft echo of the day's measured pace. You can almost feel the reassuring comfort of repetition, the soothing reassurance of patterns repeated over generations. The river's surface glimmers under the soft, fading sunlight, reflecting the muted silhouettes of birds gliding lazily above. Kufanefer pauses at a familiar spot, drawing water for the evening needs, and perhaps drinking a few quiet sips himself. Each movement is deliberate, reflective, and essential, connecting the labor of the day to the basic necessities of life. Imagine running your fingers along the cool, damp clay of a jar, listening to the faint splash of water against its side, feeling the subtle brush of wind carrying the gentle scents of the fields and river. A combination of warmth, freshness, and calm that settles the mind. Throughout the village, preparations for evening unfold in a gentle, coordinated pattern. Animals are guided to shaded pens or low enclosures. Tools are carefully stored, and small fires are lit to prepare for meals. The soft crackle and muted glow of these fires provide comfort rather than urgency, a tactile warmth that mirrors the golden light lingering across the fields. Villagers move in measured steps, each action reinforcing the cycle of care, observation, and mindful attention that defines their existence. Even the wind seems to slow, brushing lightly over the land, rustling leaves and grains with a delicate, rhythmic whisper. As twilight approaches, Kufanefer allows himself a quiet moment of reflection. Standing near the river, he observes the interplay of fading light, shifting shadows, and gentle ripples on the water surface. The soft colors of dusk, a muted orange, a delicate rose, and the faintest hints of purple, paint the landscape in gentle tones. Imagine your gaze following the river's steady flow, listening to the faint chorus of distant birds, and sensing the quiet, enduring pulse of life that continues undisturbed. This reflective moment is an intimate glimpse into his world, a world defined not by spectacle, but by attentive, patient presence and the unhurried flow of daily life. The closing moments of the day are spent in subtle routines. Kufanefer ensures that each plot of crops is secure, that water channels are unobstructed, and that farmers and apprentices alike are positioned to continue smoothly on the morrow. The repeated gestures, the familiar steps, and the quiet attention to detail reinforce the comforting continuity of life. Imagine tracing these motions with your mind's eye, noting the gentle precision, the meditative rhythm, and the serene balance that defines every action. The village, the river, and the fields exist in harmonious synchrony, a tableau of calm, unhurried existence. In witnessing the life of Khufunefer, we perceive the understated beauty of ordinary human diligence, the quiet elegance of careful attention, and the gentle interconnection between people and their environment. Each day is a meditation on continuity, each gesture a subtle contribution to the enduring cycles of life along the Nile. His story, though unremarkable in the spectacle of history, reveals the profound grace in small, consistent acts, offering a calming perspective that aligns perfectly with the gentle, reflective purpose of this journey. Imagine the soft descent of evening light, the subtle cooling of the air, and the rhythmic murmur of the river, all inviting your mind to slow, to breathe, and to prepare for the transition into the next chapter of historical exploration. As the evening settles over the fields, and the soft amber of sunset gives way to the cool violet of early twilight, we turn our attention from the gentle rhythms of daily labor to the subtler, more enigmatic aspects of ancient Egyptian agricultural life. Imagine yourself wandering slowly along the edges of the village, the air tinged with the lingering warmth of the sun and the faint, earthy scent of the Nile's fertile soil. Here, amidst the ordinary, lie traces of practices, beliefs, and artifacts that hint at mysteries quietly woven into the everyday existence of these people. Archaeologists, uncovering the remnants of ancient villages centuries later, often find objects whose purpose is not immediately obvious. Small figurines placed carefully near fields, pottery vessels buried in neat rows, and faded inscriptions on mudbrick walls. Each item tells a story, though one that must be pieced together with patience and attention. Imagine examining a tiny clay figure, its contours smooth from handling, its surface etched with faint symbols. Perhaps it was meant to protect the crops, to invite fertility and growth, or to serve as a quiet witness to the labor performed beneath the sun. The object itself is calm, unassuming, yet it carries a resonance that invites reflection and curiosity. In some villages, remnants of ancient granaries reveal subtle hints about the seasonal and ceremonial cycles of farming life. These structures, simple but carefully constructed, show evidence of meticulous planning. Storage pits lined with clay, small channels to divert water, and soft layers of sand or straw to protect the grain. Imagine standing in such a space, feeling the cool, smooth walls, sensing the quiet reverence for sustenance, and understanding that every detail, however understated, was designed to preserve life and continuity. The rhythm of work, protection, and preparation resonates through these archaeological traces, like whispers from the past. Some mysteries are found in inscriptions or small carved tablets, discovered near homes or communal spaces. They depict agricultural rituals, offerings to deities, or seasonal prayers. The images are simple, composed of neat lines and gentle forms, yet they hint at a rich layer of belief that intertwine daily labor with spiritual care. Imagine tracing the lines of these etchings with your eyes, a figure bending over a field, hands extended to the soil, a small boat floating along the Nile, carrying offerings to unseen gods, delicate patterns of grain sprouting from the earth. Each mark, though quiet and unassuming, invites contemplation, connecting the practical to the mystical in a manner that is calm and meditative rather than dramatic. Artifacts related to irrigation, plowing, and storage also carry subtle hints of ingenuity and cultural expression. Wooden shadows, carefully shaped clay pots, and small tools carved with attention reveal a harmony between utility and artistry. Imagine lifting a small clay pot, feeling the weight and the smooth texture, noting how each curve reflects not only function, but a quiet respect for craftsmanship. These objects speak of a culture that valued precision, care, and continuity, and their presence invites us to slow our pace, observe, and appreciate the understated elegance of problem-solving in daily life. Even funerary practices reflect a calm reverence for the cycles of life. Small burial offerings for farmers, discovered in modest tombs, include carefully arranged food, tools, and symbolic figurines. They are reminders that even ordinary lives were interwoven with a sense of purpose and continuity beyond the visible. Imagine gently stepping through such a tomb, noting the muted tones of pottery and the careful placement of objects, feeling the soothing rhythm of care, thoughtfulness, and deliberate arrangement. These traces allow us to connect not only with the labor of daily life, but with the quiet beliefs that framed it. Archaeologists also uncover fragments of woven mats, basketry, and textiles that once played a central role in farm life. Each piece, though frayed and delicate, evokes the tactile experiences of workers, the smoothness of linen under fingers, the firm weave of baskets carrying grain, the gentle resilience of mats laid on sun-baked floors. Imagine feeling these textures in your mind, letting the sensory impressions guide your imagination into the calm, measured rhythms of an ancient village. Even the smallest remnants carry stories, quietly bridging past and present, and allowing your mind to wander along gentle currents of discovery. Through these artifacts and subtle clues, we glimpse the hidden layers of everyday culture, the quiet ingenuity, reverent practices, and soft mysteries that shaped life along the Nile. They are reminders that history is not only made in grand monuments and battles, but also in the patient care of soil, the attentive crafting of tools, and the gentle weaving of belief into routine. Imagine the soft glow of twilight bathing a small village, the faint rustle of wind in the reeds, and the calm presence of objects and symbols that speak across millennia, inviting reflection, quiet curiosity, and gentle immersion into a world that is both familiar and mysteriously distant. In exploring these subtle mysteries, we allow ourselves to drift softly between observation and imagination, tracing the threads that connect material culture, human ingenuity, and daily life. Each artifact, each inscription, each quietly placed object contributes to a tapestry of calm discovery, where curiosity is gentle and reflection is slow. Let your mind wander among these traces, feel the connection to lives lived with care, and allow the soothing rhythm of inquiry to carry you gently toward the next layer of history. As twilight deepens into the soft blue of early evening, the village along the Nile seems to exhale a quiet, unhurried sigh. Shadows stretch lazily across the fields, and the distant glimmer of the river reflects a gentle shimmer under the fading light. It is in this tranquil hour that the subtler layers of ancient Egyptian life, the quiet mysteries woven into everyday routines, become most apparent. Imagine yourself wandering slowly along these paths, feeling the gentle cooling of the air, hearing the rustle of leaves, and sensing the soft murmur of human activity winding down for the day. Archaeological studies reveal that even the simplest items often held layered meanings. A worn wooden plow, for instance, may show evidence of careful carving along its handle, a soft reminder of the human touch and the attention given to tools not only for function but for reverence. Imagine tracing the contours of this plow in your mind's eye, feeling the smooth, sun-warmed wood, and recognizing that even objects of utility were treated with mindfulness and care. These subtle details suggest that life along the Nile was quietly intertwined with aesthetic and spiritual sensibilities, and that the ordinary was suffused with meaning. Small inscriptions found near homes or in communal spaces often depict scenes that are at once simple and enigmatic. Farmers bent over furrows, hands reaching to the soil, small offerings laid beside plowed land, faint symbols indicating seasonal prayers. Each of these images carries information about agricultural practice, religious observance, and cultural values. Imagine studying such an inscription, noting the graceful, deliberate lines, the gentle gestures of figures frozen in time, and allowing your mind to absorb the calm rhythm of past routines. There is no rush, only a soft invitation to observe, reflect, and drift into historical contemplation. Some of the most fascinating archaeological discoveries are tied to food preservation and storage. clay jars with subtle markings, granaries with well-laid channels to protect against moisture, and remnants of woven baskets all reveal a civilization deeply attuned to the rhythms of nature. Picture a small granary illuminated by the soft glow of evening, filled with neatly arranged jars and baskets. Each vessel, each weave, speaks of foresight, care, and continuity, a quiet testament to the unhurried diligence of past lives. Imagine running your fingers along the clay rim of a jar, or the subtle texture of woven fibers, and feeling a gentle connection to those who handled these objects with careful, thoughtful hands. Even ceremonial practices carry an understated intrigue. Small figurines, carefully positioned in fields or homes, seem at first glance ordinary, yet they invite speculation. Were they intended to ensure fertility of the soil, to protect against misfortune, or simply to serve as symbols of human care and devotion? Their presence, though modest, hints at the intricate web of beliefs that intertwine daily labor with spiritual observance. Imagine pausing beside one of these figures, noting its delicate features, and allowing your imagination to trace the subtle intentions behind its creation, all while maintaining a calm, reflective state. Twilight also highlights the soft textures of textiles and household artifacts. Faded fragments of linen, mats woven from reeds, and cloth bags once used to carry grain reveal an intimate tactile dimension of life. Imagine holding a worn linen fragment in your hands, sensing its smoothness, the faint scent of earth and time, and the quiet labor embedded in its threads. These remnants, though small, offer a sensory bridge between centuries, allowing a gentle, immersive connection to the rhythms, textures, and daily experiences of those who lived long ago. Even the placement of simple structures within the village conveys subtle stories. Paths, field layouts, and irrigation channels suggest careful planning and a deep understanding of the land. Imagine walking along a narrow path between fields, noting how the sun casts soft shadows on the mudbrick walls, feeling the gentle slope of the earth beneath your feet, and realizing that every aspect of design and movement was thoughtfully considered. The villagers' choices were guided by practicality, observation, and a quiet desire to live in harmony with their surroundings. In this part of our journey, we witness how the hidden, quieter aspects of ancient Egyptian culture, rituals, tools, inscriptions, and daily objects, reveal a world that is at once practical, thoughtful, and subtly mysterious. Each discovery allows the mind to wander softly, tracing the interplay between human ingenuity, spiritual observance, and the gentle flow of daily life. Imagine the village bathed in soft twilight, the river glinting in the fading light, the air carrying the faint scent of earth and harvest, and feel a comforting sense of connection to lives lived in attentive calm, where mystery and routine coexist in harmonious balance. By exploring these quiet enigmas, we are invited to slow our pace, reflect gently, and imagine the unhurried patterns of life that shaped human experience along the Nile. The artifacts, symbols, and subtle traces of past practices become threads in a soothing tapestry, guiding the mind toward a state of calm curiosity and reflective immersion. The evening deepens, the air cools, and the gentle rhythm of history carries us forward, preparing for the next part of our journey into the social and contrasting lives of ancient Egyptians. As night gently settles over the village, a soft hush falls across the fields, broken only by the faint rustle of reeds along the Nile and the occasional distant cry of a nocturnal bird. The last traces of twilight fade, leaving the landscape bathed in the serene silver blue of early night. It is in this quiet hour that the subtle, almost secretive aspects of ancient Egyptian life reveal themselves most poignantly. Imagine walking slowly along narrow paths between mudbrick homes, feeling the gentle coolness of a night air and noticing how shadows stretch and soften, concealing as much as they reveal. Archaeological discoveries often hint at these hidden rhythms, the quiet mysteries embedded in everyday life. Small, carefully arranged offerings found near homes, ranging from grains to tiny figurines, suggests that even the ordinary was touched by ritual and reflection. Each item, though modest, holds a quiet significance, a talisman meant to protect crops, a symbolic gesture honoring the river, or a token of gratitude to unseen forces. Imagine tracing your fingers lightly over a smooth, sun-warmed piece of clay, feeling the subtle contours and imagining the gentle hands that placed it there centuries ago with quiet intent. Even the construction of homes and communal spaces contains hints of subtle cultural expression. Walls, built from mudbrick, bear traces of faded inscriptions, soft impressions of hands, or faint patterns left by the careful placement of tools. These small, almost imperceptible marks provide insight into both function and aesthetics, a reminder that life was lived with attentive mindfulness. Imagine standing in the shadow of one of these dwellings, feeling the rough, warm texture of mudbrick, listening to the quiet night air, and sensing the invisible threads of history woven into the very fabric of daily existence. Many mysteries are also found in the organization of village spaces. Fields are arranged not merely for efficiency, but in patterns that suggest ritual significance, seasonal observation, and careful attention to the cycles of sun and river. Pathways, irrigation channels, and boundary markers often reflect a harmony between utility and symbolic intent. Picture walking along a soft, earthen path, noting the careful layout of crops, the gentle slope of the land guiding water where it is needed, and the sense that every element of placement carries both practical and thoughtful meaning. These subtleties invite quiet contemplation, an understanding of life as both functional and reflective. Archaeologists also uncover traces of social and cultural activities that were woven into the fabric of daily existence. Small communal gatherings, whether for shared meals, seasonal celebrations, or ritual observances, were quiet, measured, and intimate affairs. The faint remains of pottery, remnants of woven mats, and simple utensils hint at a world where connection and cooperation were gently structured into everyday routines. Imagine these spaces in your mind: the muted glow of a small fire, the soft chatter of voices, the delicate clink of clay vessels, all creating an atmosphere of calm, reflective community life. Even agricultural tools themselves carry traces of cultural significance. A hoe, a basket, or a water jar may bear subtle carvings, gentle etchings, or small decorations, indicating pride in craftsmanship and a quiet reverence for the work itself. Imagine lifting a smooth wooden handle, feeling the rounded edges worn by careful hands over many seasons, sensing the soft history embedded in its use. These tools, though utilitarian, carry the echo of human attention and care, blending practicality with gentle artistry. In addition, the discovery of small figurines and charms placed at field boundaries or near granaries hints at a belief in protection and subtle magic, offering reassurance and continuity. They are not grand or imposing, but intimate, personal, and calming, an understated acknowledgement that human life, labor, and the cycles of nature are intertwined. Picture these small figures in your mind, bathed in the silver-blue light of night. Their forms simple yet evocative, inviting quiet reflection and a sense of continuity across time. Finally, the soft nocturnal ambience of the village itself offers a lesson in calm observation. The river flows steadily, reflecting faint starlight. Animals settle in shaded pens, and the village takes on a rhythm defined by subtle movements, gentle breathing, and measured activity. Imagine standing silently among the homes and fields, letting the soft night sounds, cool air, and faint textures of earth and brick guide your thoughts. The mysteries of daily life, ritual practice, and human ingenuity become a gentle meditation, a calming exploration that bridges centuries and invites the mind to rest in reflective contemplation. In this quiet examination of artifacts, structures, and cultural practices, we glimpse the hidden world of ancient Egyptian villages, a world where utility, spirituality, artistry, and daily life blend seamlessly into a rhythm both practical and meditative. Each trace of human presence, each small, deliberate gesture preserved in clay, brick, or fiber, offers a soothing reflection of lives lived with attention, care, and quiet purpose. Imagine the silver-blue light of night over fields and river, the faint hum of the village settling into sleep, and let the gentle pulse of history guide you softly toward the next segment, where we will explore the contrasting lives of social elites and common farmers. As the soft glow of night lingers over the village and the Nile reflects a muted silver sheen, we shift our focus from the quiet mysteries of daily life to the contrasting world of the social elite. Imagine yourself walking gently away from the fields and simple dwellings toward more refined spaces. Larger mudbrick houses, courtyards lined with fragrant plants, and rooms adorned with subtle decorative touches. Here, life follows a different rhythm, less dictated by labor and the cycles of planting and harvest, and more shaped by oversight, leisure, and a ceremonial presence. Elites in ancient Egypt often enjoyed the fruits of careful administration and the labor of others. Yet their days were not without routine or quiet purpose. Imagine a nobleman named Amenhotep residing in a courtyard shaded by date palms and flowering vines. The soft fragrance of jasmine and lotus drifts through the air, mingling with the faint scent of baked clay walls and sun-warmed stone floors. Every morning begins with measured routines: washing, dressing in fine linen, and moving slowly through familiar spaces, observing attendants and scribes as they quietly prepare for the day. There's a rhythm here as well, calm and deliberate, though markedly different from the pulse of the village fields. Meals and sustenance carry their own form of ritual and organization. The elite household often has access to stored grains, fresh vegetables, and delicately prepared offerings. Imagine the muted clink of ceramic bowls, the soft rustle of linen as servants move, and the gentle aroma of prepared food, mingling with the natural sense of a courtyard garden. Even sustenance, though more abundant, is approached with care, creating a meditative sequence of taste, touch, and observation. Here, abundance is tempered by ritual, and daily actions are performed with a calm attentiveness that mirrors, in its own way, the steady diligence of the farmers in the fields. Social interactions within elite circles are subtle and measured. Advisors and scribes speak softly, offering counsel and updates, while attendants perform tasks with quiet efficiency. Imagine the sound of footsteps over smooth floors, the soft turning of papyrus scrolls, the gentle hum of voices conversing with calm formality. Even the act of giving instruction is tempered with reflection, the rhythm of communication slow, deliberate, and purposeful. This environment is one of quiet oversight rather than frantic control, a setting where influence is exercised with a measured touch. Despite the contrasts, parallels between elite life and village life emerge when we observe the underlying rhythms. Both rely on attention to detail, continuity of practice, and careful observation of cycles, whether of crops, water, or social obligations. Imagine Amenhotep pausing in his courtyard, observing workers arranging baskets or arranging flowers, noting the smooth flow of tasks performed with skill and attention. There is a subtle resonance with the farmer's day. Both involve calibration, mindfulness, and quiet orchestration, though the textures, scents, and scales differ. Even leisure carries a calm, structured cadence. A noble might stroll along shaded walkways, enjoying the gentle fragrance of garden plants, or watch as servants perform small, unhurried tasks, each movement contributing to the quiet harmony of the household. Imagine the feel of smooth stone beneath bare feet, the soft rustle of linen, the muted glow of oil lamps beginning to illuminate evening spaces. The mind is invited to wander slowly, taking in textures, fragrances, and the gentle rhythm of human interaction, in a way that mirrors the meditative patterns observed in the fields. Religious observance and ceremonial duties also shape elite life, though in ways that are calm, reflective, and intertwined with routine rather than spectacle. Small offerings, prayers, and attentiveness to seasonal rituals provide a structured rhythm to the day. Imagine a noble quietly placing a small offering at a household shrine, feeling the smooth clay of a vessel in the hand, inhaling the faint incense drifting upward, and observing the gentle flicker of candlelight across carved reliefs. This practice, though elevated in context, mirrors the attentive care of farmers offering small gestures to ensure the fertility of the land or the success of a harvest. By observing these contrasting lives, we begin to see history not only in terms of grandeur or labor, but in terms of quiet, measured attention to continuity, ritual, and balance. Both elites and farmers exist within carefully maintained rhythms, shaped by environment, culture, and responsibility. Imagine moving slowly between these spaces, feeling the soft textures of gardens, clay, and linen, hearing the muted voices and gentle footsteps, and sensing the quiet interconnection that binds diverse layers of society. Even in contrast, there is a calming, meditative harmony, a gentle reflection of human presence and care woven through every aspect of life along the Nile. In this first glimpse of elite life, we witness the understated elegance of structured days, measured responsibilities, and the subtle orchestration of tasks, relationships, and rituals. The rhythms of high-status households are deliberate, quiet, and reflective, providing a calming complement to the unhurried diligence of village farmers. Imagine this world settling into night, the last amber light fading from courtyards, oil lamps casting gentle glows, and the soft pulse of society slowing into rest. The contrasts we observe are gentle and instructive, offering a soothing insight into the diverse yet interconnected rhythms of ancient life. As night progresses and the soft glow of lanterns and oil lamps begins to illuminate the courtyards and inner chambers of noble households, we continue our exploration of elite life. Imagine yourself moving slowly through these quiet spaces, feeling the cool evening air brushing gently across your skin, hearing the distant lapping of the Nile, and noticing how shadows stretch across walls, softening the contours of furniture, pottery, and plants. Life here is unhurried, deliberate, and structured, a gentle counterpoint to the measured toil of the fields. Within these households, evening routines carry a quiet rhythm that is both reflective and purposeful. Attendants move softly, arranging mats for rest, distributing water and simple refreshments, and preparing spaces for meditation or ritual. The soft rustle of linen, the faint clink of pottery, and the muted whisper of conversation blend into a serene soundtrack for this time of day. Imagine the tactile warmth of smooth stone floors underfoot, the faint fragrance of flowers mingling with the cool night air, and the gentle calm that descends as each task is performed with measured attention. Education and cultural refinement play an important role in elite life, even in these quiet evening hours. Scribes may sit nearby, their fingers tracing ink onto papyrus, carefully copying texts or recording observations of the day. The soft scratch of reed pens on prepared surfaces forms a soothing, repetitive pattern. Imagine watching a young apprentice learning these skills under the gentle guidance of a mentor, the soft glow of lamps illuminating carefully formed symbols. There is no urgency, only the patient transfer of knowledge, a quiet meditation on skill and tradition. Meals, though simple in movement and sound, are prepared with attention to order and harmony. Clay bowls filled with grains, vegetables, or fruits are arranged with care, and the aroma of freshly baked bread mingles subtly with the natural scents of plants and stone. Imagine holding a small bowl of lentils or dates, feeling the smooth ceramic in your hands, and noticing the careful gestures of those arranging each dish. This calm attentiveness mirrors, in a quieter form, the careful work of farmers tending fields and granaries, creating a rhythm of care and reflection that unites different social layers. Even leisure is marked by a soft, meditative pace. Elite individuals may stroll through private gardens, Observe the gentle movements of birds or small animals, or enjoy the faint melody of a lyre played with soft, careful precision. Imagine the soft strumming of strings blending with the faint evening breeze, the muted colors of flowers under lamplight, and the gentle fragrance of plants drifting into the air. There is a delicate balance here, subtle luxury and refinement without excess, creating a soothing environment that allows the mind to wander while remaining present in the careful rhythm of the household. Social and ceremonial responsibilities also continue in this part of the day. A noble might quietly oversee correspondence, review records of grain distribution, or consult with advisors on upcoming tasks. Each action is deliberate, unhurried, and measured, ensuring continuity and thoughtful governance. Imagine reading over scrolls, the soft texture of papyrus under fingertips, the faint scent of ink, and the calming repetition of reviewing information. There is a quiet satisfaction in the orderliness and structure, a soothing pattern that resonates across time. At the close of evening, the household gradually winds down. Attendants settle animals, secure doors, and place lamps in positions that will carry soft light through the night. The air cools further, the river's distant murmur persists, and the village itself seems to hold its breath. Imagine the soft, even breathing of those around you, the gentle rustle of mats or linens, the subtle glow of lamps reflecting on polished stone or pottery. Life, though different in detail and scale from that of the fields, carries a rhythm of care, continuity, and quiet attention, a harmony of presence, movement, and reflection. By observing the contrasting lives of elites and common farmers, we gain a layered understanding of ancient Egyptian society. Both worlds are defined not by frenzy or spectacle, but by calm attention to daily tasks, respect for cycles, natural or social, and thoughtful engagement with the environment and community. Imagine slowly moving between a cultivated garden and a sun-warmed field, feeling the textures of soil, linen, clay, and stone, hearing the gentle sounds of work and movement, and sensing the meditative pulse that connects all layers of life along the Nile. In this second glimpse of elite existence, we recognize a world of subtle control, measured rituals, and refined presence. The household, though materially distinct from village life, resonates with similar principles of attentive care, continuity, and quiet reflection. As night deepens and lamps cast long shadows, the contrast between social strata becomes a gentle lesson in rhythm, observation, and mindful presence. A perfect segue into our final part, where these lives and practices will be woven together, offering a calming, reflective closure to our historical journey. As the deep night settles across the Nile Valley, the village and elite households alike move into a state of quiet repose. The soft silver of moonlight reflects gently on the river's surface, and the distant rustle of reeds and faint night sounds create a gentle, meditative rhythm. Imagine yourself walking slowly along both narrow village paths and the wider courtyards of noble homes, sensing the contrast in scale but the harmony in calm attention, presence, and purpose. In elite households, the final moments of the day are often marked by subtle rituals of reflection and preparation. Noblemen and women, having completed their measured duties, might pause beside a small shrine, carefully arranging offerings of bread, water, or fragrant oils. The soft glow of lamps casts flickering shadows across smooth clay vessels and carved reliefs, creating a peaceful interplay of light and form. Imagine inhaling faint incense and noticing the gentle pattern of gestures, each movement deliberate, soothing, and steeped in quiet respect for continuity and tradition. Attendants move with the same calm, unhurried rhythm, securing spaces, tending animals, and ensuring the household remains orderly through the night. The soft footfalls, subtle clinks of pottery, and rustle of linen form a gentle, almost hypnotic symphony, reminding us that even in contrast, the pulse of life is shaped by attention, care, and mindfulness. Imagine following these movements with your senses, feeling the cool stone underfoot, smelling the soft fragrance of oils and night air, and sensing the meditative flow of actions performed with thought and intention. Meanwhile, in village homes and fields, farmers have completed their labors, guided animals to pens, and prepared simple meals. Children rest quietly, and the gentle murmur of conversation fades to whispers. Imagine the soft crackle of a small fire, the muted aroma of bread or lentils, and the smooth feel of worn mudbrick underhand. Both worlds, the noble household and the village, share an unspoken resonance. Careful, attentive preparation for tomorrow, a reflection on today, and a quiet acknowledgement of life's ongoing cycles. Even the night itself contributes to this rhythm. The Nile flows steadily, its gentle current reflecting stars that twinkle faintly above. Crickets chirp softly, and distant nocturnal birds call intermittently, providing a subtle soundtrack to reflection and contemplation. Imagine standing in the courtyard of a noble home, then stepping slowly along a riverbank path past village huts, feeling the textures of soil, stone, and water, and noticing the harmony of light, sound, and movement that connects all layers of life. Elite leisure, though more structured and subdued, complements the quiet routines of common life. Some may engage in music, softly strumming a lyre or gently blowing into a reed instrument, producing tones that ripple through the night air. Others may meditate quietly, observing moonlight on water, contemplating the order of the household, or reflecting on past and future days. These activities, though materially distinct from agricultural labor, share the same gentle pacing, mindfulness, and continuity of attention. Imagine the soft vibration of strings, the muted scent of river water and flowering plants, and the calming presence of measured actions stretching into the night. By observing the convergence of these lives, we understand that ancient Egyptian society was a tapestry of rhythms. Agriculture, craft, governance, ritual, and reflection, interwoven with care, attention, and quiet continuity. Imagine the soft glow of moonlight across mud brick walls, the gentle movements of both villagers and nobles, and the subtle scents, textures, and sounds of night as they harmonize in a soothing nocturnal tableau. Both worlds, distinct yet interconnected, teach us that life, even in contrast, carries a calm, enduring rhythm. As the final hours of the night draw near, both the elite and the common folk settle into rest, guided by patterns established over generations. The fields, courtyards, and riverbanks remain bathed in moonlight, the air cool, and the village and noble households alike embrace the comforting repetition of cycles. Imagine yourself walking slowly along the Nile, absorbing the gentle symphony of nocturnal sounds, feeling the cool night breeze, and sensing the calm continuity of life flowing quietly through time. In this serene moment, the contrast between social strata becomes a gentle, meditative reflection rather than a stark division, a final insight before we transition into the concluding thoughts of our journey. As the night deepens over the Nile, and the soft silver blue light washes across fields, courtyards, and riverbanks alike, our journey through the hidden world of ancient Egyptian life comes gently to a close. Imagine yourself resting quietly in this serene landscape, the gentle flow of the river carrying whispers of time, the distant rustle of reeds, and the soft murmurs of nocturnal creatures providing a soothing soundtrack, and the moonlight tracing delicate patterns over the familiar forms of clay, mud brick, and woven textures. Throughout this exploration, we have moved slowly, almost as if in a dream, through the unhurried rhythms of daily life, watching farmers tending fertile soil, witnessing the careful organization of granaries, tracing the subtle rituals that intertwined labor and belief, and observing the contrasting but equally measured lives of the social elite. Each glimpse, each artifact, each soft sound and texture has invited you to enter a meditative, reflective state, where time is gentle and observation is quiet, and where history itself becomes a lullaby of continuity, care, and calm presence. We have lingered in small details. The smooth curve of a clay pot, the gentle rustle of linen mats, the quiet geometry of field boundaries, and the deliberate gestures of nobles and villagers alike. In these subtle threads, we find a soothing harmony that transcends centuries, a rhythm that connects human life, labor, belief, and community in gentle repetition and mindful attention. Imagine these elements forming a tapestry of calm reflection, each thread carrying a story that is both intimate and distant, familiar yet quietly mysterious. Perhaps now you feel the soft echo of footsteps across mudbrick floors, the faint whisper of wind in the reeds, or the gentle pulse of water in the Nile, guiding your thoughts toward a state of stillness. Let the textures, scents, and muted sounds of ancient Egyptian life continue to resonate softly within your mind, as if the past is breathing alongside you, quietly and without urgency. This calm immersion reminds us that even in distant times, humans found comfort in routine, care in labor, and serenity in mindful attention. If this kind of tranquil journey through history has brought you a sense of ease, feel free to like the video and subscribe, but only if it truly adds a gentle calm to your evening. Perhaps leave a comment, softly sharing where you're listening from or what time it is, as it is strangely comforting to know others are resting alongside the same stories, feeling the same quiet rhythm of lives long past. Together, we share this gentle communion with history, softly bridging past and present. As your eyes grow heavy, imagine the moonlight fading slowly into the pre-dawn, the Nile's silver surface shimmering just enough to guide your imagination toward rest. Let the patterns of ancient life, the steady sowing of seeds, the careful tending of crops, the subtle rituals of home and village, and the measured presence of nobles fold gently into your mind. Allow the soothing pulse of this historical rhythm to guide you towards sleep, a restful journey where knowledge and calm intertwine. Thank you for joining the Sleepy Historian tonight, for letting the stories of ancient Egyptian farmers, village life, and quiet rituals accompany you. Let the gentle whispers of history carry you into dreams, and may the peaceful rhythm of the past lull you toward a deep, restorative rest.